Hello everyone, welcome to a new video on the channel. I am very excited to say that we are on to the final theme of 2024 in my reading journal, my monthly destinations to a fantasy location. And if it's not at all obvious by these colours that I'm putting in the corners, my theme is one that is very near and dear to me. Anyone who knows me probably has guessed what this is already, but I wanted to take us to a place that has shaped my writing, my reading, just me as a person. This book is something that I've read so many times in my life, and whilst it hasn't aged as well as it could have, I still really enjoy this world, and I know a lot of authors and readers also enjoy what this world has sparked within them, whether it be character development or just enjoyment. And if you've watched the movie, which a lot of people have, then you'll know that this world is just really whimsical and an absolute delight. And if you haven't guessed already, I have taken you to the land of 𝓛𝓲𝓷𝓼. This is where Howl's Moving Castle is set, and it is by Diana Wynne Jones. I have to admit that the second and third books haven't aged well, and I don't read them very often, but I always try to have a yearly reread of Howl's Moving Castle. I don't know if I'm going to get to it this year because I've got so many books to read before the year is out, but I will try and get to it in 2025. It's just one of those comfort reads. You know how people have their comfort shows. I'm not a TV person or a movie person, but I am definitely a reading person. So this is one of my comfort reads, and I really enjoy this world. I love the characters. It's my type of tropes and everything like that. So I always think of this quite fondly, and I wanted to end the year in 𝓛𝓲𝓷𝓼 in the castle with Sophie and Howl and Calcifer and all the wonderful characters. I tried to represent in the aesthetics of the setup. So I went with an extremely cluttered and colourful theme for December. This is sort of, I have definitely changed in the way that I express myself and my colour scheme and all the things that I do now, but this is very much so me in a colour. I used to be very much so a brights person. I would have colours everywhere, the brighter the better. And now I'm very much so a dual-toned green girl, but this feels very nostalgic. It takes me back to how I would always be very colourful and creative, and so I really enjoyed setting this up, had a really good time, except for with the headers. The vinyl that I used for the headers, which by the way the font is actually Howl's Moving Castle's font, I looked it up online and found it. The vinyl though is very finicky. It was very easy to rip. You'll get to see in a moment that I actually end up ripping one of the letters, but it does go down all right. It kind of works itself back out, but I was a little bit frustrated with the headers in this setup. Other than that, I had a really good time with all the colors and stuff. I just went really chaotic. I thought, you know, this is the last month of the year. It is a world where, if you haven't watched it, one of the main characters has a castle and he's incredibly chaotic. He's a wizard, or a sorcerer I should say, and he just thrives in chaos and mess, and he knows where everything is, but he's met by someone who is very much so orderly and takes control of his chaotic situation. So this is the chaotic version, I think, before Sophie had to get her mitts onto it. I just really wanted to have fun, play with some layouts that I hadn't quite done yet, whilst this whole journal has very much so had a familiar vibe. Like, I use the same type of layouts and I tend to put them all in the same spot. For example, the monthly view is always on the left hand side, the arcs and book hauls are always tend to be on the right hand side, that kind of thing. I wanted to play around with the placement of like color and layering and stuff in this last theme, and I think I did all right with that. Lots of different experiments happened while putting this last section together, and I'm very happy with all the colors and everything, even though sometimes it's a little bit hard on camera to read these headers. Like book haul is a bit hard right now on that green. In person it's really easy, and I'm really happy with how it came together. I'm also a little bit nervous that I didn't leave myself enough room on that book haul list, but let's hope I don't get too many books for Christmas. That would be nice, but I think my bookshelves would be crying if I get too many. So this page is almost done now. I'm just going to put in the titles for the days of the week, and then also the numbers for each corresponding day in the calendar. And if you're new here, this is where I track how long it takes me to finish a book. That little gap down the bottom is where I write down the books that I read, and then on the right hand side I have the arcs section. I like to read e-arcs and keep a track of it in my journal, and then I have that tiny book haul section because I'm trying to be really good. Flipping over to my readathon page, and there is a bit of a time jump because I didn't want to spend too much time with you guys watching me constantly doing these headers. They do take quite a long time to get off the backings and stuff, so I do apologise that I decided to just cut that footage. But this is the Reindeer Readathon. I'm participating in 2 readathons in December again. I'm going to continue on with the Clear Your Shit readathon on this right hand side. I started in November, it goes for 2 months, and for December I'm redoing the Reindeer Readathon for another year. I really enjoyed it last year, and I've decided to continue on with this. I will have both readathon announcements in the description below, along with all the suppliers that I use, as much as I can share. So this is my washi tape collection. It's a it pretty much belongs in Howl's castle. It's very chaotic. I was looking for a rainbow washi tape that was very skinny that I remembered that I had. I have no idea where it is, so I went with this blue one to go with the blue on the end of Readathon, and also the green. It matched in quite nicely, so I just added that on as a bit of decoration down the bottom. I wanted to keep the bottom half of the Clear Your Shit page empty because there are some prompts that I haven't yet finished in November. I don't think I'll get to, so I will try and add them into December somehow. Maybe write a little note, but there they are, all filled in. And then going in with those 4 colours again to represent the door of the castle. If you know the storyline, it's a magical castle, and if you put a different colour on to the door handle, it changes the location. So that's why those 4 colours kept popping up in the corners. I thought that was a good way to represent the door. And just adding in some more elements here. On the left hand side I've got space for my TBR and my prompts list. On the right hand side I've got some space for the library hires. I plan to get a little bit of reading done in December. I'm not sure how much, but I do have a lot of things that I want to accomplish before the year is out. I have already completed my reading challenge goal for the year. I finished it the other day, so I don't have to worry too much about meeting that anymore, but I do want to finish off some reads that perhaps I don't want to carry over into 2025, or I'm too excited to wait that long. So we're going into the final page now once I finish trimming off the edges of the decorative paper, and that is the reading log. It is one of the most functional pages and normally quite bland in my setups. I must admit that I never put a lot of effort into it apart from having the functional side of it, because obviously whilst I like having the aesthetics and the prettiness and everything of each month, I do need to have the journal functioning for me to use it, and in retrospect it's kind of never inspiring, this page. I must admit I always struggle to enjoy filling it in until it's all completed, and then I stick in the covers. So whilst I'm filling it in before the wrap-ups each month, I don't enjoy it. So I'm hopeful that this month I will, because it's really colourful and a bit more eye-catching. I did have a really hard time with the header. As you can see, everything started breaking. I was on my last header for the night and I was not prepared to print out another one, or sorry, get my Cricut to cut one out. So I just went in with some tweezers and some good old ingenuity and got it down. Yeah, not my favorite vinyl to work with at all, but I really do like how it changes color gradient. So you win some, you lose some, and it was the price to pay for setting this up. But overall, this last page is very bright and colourful. I had a good time with it, and I'm hopeful that filling it in over December will be a bit more cheery, and maybe I can come up with a different layout for 2025, since this page is a little bit of a bore each month for me, not going to lie. And I'm going to come back in and just say that I'm really grateful that I did this theme for the entire year. I'm a Gemini, and whilst I am also a perfectionist, I am not the type of person that can stick to something for a really long time, unless there's a lot of motivation involved. And I'm just so relieved that I was able to do all 12 themes for the year. I was very worried that I would just stop at some point. I know that sounds not very positive, but I was worried I'd get bored or it wouldn't work out. And here we are doing the final theme for the year. I cannot fathom it. And if you've been here and you've watched every single one of these, please, please, please leave a comment below and let me know which month was your favorite theme. I still think that my favorite theme is April. I think it's April, when we went to on the Marawati, which is the Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi by Shannon Chakraborty. The reason I choose that is I really loved the rope font that I used for the nautical type theme that month had. I really liked that one. I also quite enjoyed September's theme, Kiata, the Kingdom of Kiata, because the colours and the oriental vibe were very, very fun. Here I unfortunately had an issue with my stamp, so I do come back with some sticker paper and cover that up, and it's all good as gold. So yeah, if you watched my last video, you would know that me and sticker paper have got quite a good understanding now for fixing mistakes in my journals. But yeah, I had a really good time. There were a lot of great themes this year. I will be definitely doing a flip through and talking through things again at the end of the year, or probably early into 2025. But for now, this is how every theme looked. And this is how this one looked, sorry. Before the pen, thank you so much for spending time with me today. I'm so excited to start using this next month. Wow, can't talk now. And I hope that until we next meet, you have fun reading and journaling. And I will be back with a new video very, very soon. Thank you for watching. Bye, everyone.